We arrived in Falmouth Yacht Haven a few days ago and it was a bit manic. We arrived here and left Tim in charge of the boat and went and hired a car and went to a friend's wedding all the way up in Burnley. However, it's now time to have a bit of a reset. We need to wash the decks because it was quite a salty passage down here, and fill up the water tanks and just restock in general. Falmouth Yacht Haven is super convenient because we're just in the, well, I think it's the middle of Falmouth, but we're surrounded by shops. I need to double check that. But yeah, so we're just in the middle of town. There's a little Tesco's that we can walk to, and then there's bigger supermarkets slightly further out. One thing we've noticed a lot of around Falmouth is lovely looking eateries, but you may have noticed that we are trying to do this lifestyle on a very tight budget. We're nipping to Tesco's to get some supplies so I can bulk cook a few meals, which will save us some money, which means that we can carry on doing this rather than wasting it all on nice delicious food.
Your food is nice and delicious, Mum.
You have to say that.
The cool thing about travelling is just getting the shopping. You just get to see some really cool sights.
Yeah,
and things.
Yeah, when you go out and about, even just on the shopping run, you get to see like things that you wouldn't see obviously going on your daily shopping run. New sights and new boats especially.
Yeah,
we've just seen a load of rowing boats going out, which is really cool.
Yeah.
We have got charging problems because we're not, for some reason, getting enough charge into our house bank from the engine when we're motoring. I'm not brilliant with electrics. I'm okay, but I'm learning as we go along. We've got this book.
You've done lots of other.
I've done lots of other, yeah.
Boat electrics.
So the setup we've got is a Yanmar engine with a standard alternator with a standard V-belt, and we've got normal 12-volt lead acid. They're sealed lead acid, non-serviceable ones, for the starter engine start that goes through a red isolator key, and we've added to that a DC-DC charger so that we can charge the lithium house bank. Now, you can't charge lithium batteries directly off your alternator because they've got the wrong charge profile. You'll damage them. So we've got this DC-DC charger which we've got set on lithium profile. But the other day we were motoring, and well, we were using the auto helm for many hours, and then that depleted the house bank because the auto helm motor runs off the house bank.
But we were using that while we were under motor.
And yeah, while we were motoring.
So in theory,
it should have been putting plenty of charge back in, and it wasn't. So we've spoken to a couple of mates, Paul, cheers mate, and Andy, and various other people, and I think before we go anywhere, we just need to go through all of the wires and make sure that every wire between the battery, the starter motor, the engine, the alternator, and everything has got a good piece of wire with a good lug on each end and a good solid connection. Because it could simply be that there's a crappy connector somewhere. We're talking quietly because Ollie's asleep. I'm just sort of systematically checking the resistance of each piece of cable in the system between the battery and the starter motor and the alternator. The first thing I've noticed is that the positive cable between the battery and the isolator key, which is here, on the cable side, if I go direct to the cable itself, I'm getting 0.1 ohms, so there's no resistance there, no significant resistance. On the other side of the isolator key, though, I'm getting 6.5 ohms, 1.2 ohms there. So I'm getting some resistance just from this isolator key. I'm going to do all of the connections. I'm going to do all of the bits of cable. I think maybe the first thing to do is undo that, get that isolator key out of the circuit for a start, because it might even be something as simple as that isolator key is producing too much resistance. While I'm here fertling around in the engine bay as well, I'm going to just check the gearbox oil, because if you remember we changed that in Padstow and I've just slackened it off. I'm just going to check the dipstick for the gearbox oil and yeah, gearbox oil is now beautiful, looks brand new, fantastic. So that's that problem solved. I can only assume with the gearbox oil that I don't think we ever did it when we got the boat, which was a bit daft, but it's fine. We've changed it now. This is the isolator key to turn the starter battery on and off. That's 24 ohms, 22 ohms, 19 ohms. So it's, I don't know if maybe just I'm going to give this a really good clean up first before I do anything else. If I put the probes on the same pole, I get 0.3 ohms, which is as near as damn it nothing. If I go across the key, I'm getting varying between 1.5 and, well, sometimes 1 ohm, varying between 1 and 2 ohms. Now, I don't know enough to know whether that's acceptable or not, but it seems like some resistance is in this. And if you get some resistance in this and then some resistance somewhere else and some resistance somewhere else, it all adds up, doesn't it? Does it? I don't know. I'm out of my depth here, really, but all I can do is clean everything up and get all the resistance down as low as possible and hope for the best. So I've given these a clean up so they're nice and shiny. Who knows whether that will make any difference at all. Tell me if I'm going down a stupid rabbit hole here, but this is the switch I've just taken off, and it was showing about 20 ohms. It's now showing 2 ohms. Okay, this one is one that I've found in my box of spares. Same key, but that one is showing 0.3 ohms. So it might just be that that is a better quality thing than that. I've been advised, just for testing purposes, to bypass this completely and just see what happens with the voltages and what have you when we bypass it completely. But I think when I put it back together, I'll use that one because it seems like a more sort of solidly made thing than that. This is the other end of it, which we've seen before. Just had so much going on, I've not had a chance to clean up everything as I should, but that's what I need to do. Right, this is the positive battery cable. I'm going to test the impedance and continuity of all of these here as well. Yeah, I've mentioned doing this before and just didn't do it. I think basically, I'm unwrapping the wiring loom and there's all like this kind of stuff going on, which can't be helpful, can it? So I can't replace the whole loom. That's too big a job. But I think I need to replace all the connections, or as many of them as I can, and hopefully that will solve some of the issues. So I'm going to go from that. I'm going to try and do one of those things where I like cover the camera and all of a sudden it looks different. Let's just see how different it looks. 1, 2, 3. We have a significant improvement. I'll show you the wiring setup still. I'm not completely happy with this, and what I want to do over winter is strip that whole wiring loom out and make a completely new wiring loom. I'm just not comfortable with it. It's fine for now, but I'm glad we've caught it. I think the boat is due a new wiring loom this winter, but this is what it looks like now. Much better. Much neater, much tidier. So that's much neater, much tidier. It's got all new connectors and what have you. It's got all new connectors. The what are they called? Wirefly heat shrinking ones, and I've put new cable wherever I could. Now we're now getting proper charge from the DC-DC going into the lithium. There we go. So we now know that if we run the engine, we will be definitely charging up our starter battery, because that's showing 14.2 volts on the starter battery, and it's also putting out the correct lithium profile on the Victron. So I've got it set to LiFePO 4. See, I've got the settings set for a LiFePO 4 battery bank, which is what we've got. Success, that's great, I'm really happy.
In this part of the marina, this boat starts to be my favourite. Just look at the wood on it. And
It's
the
very
mast.
pretty.
Yeah. And the brass, I really like the brass. And
Bronze, I think.
bronze. It's got a nice cockpit.
With budget in mind, I try and make meat go further. So with this lot, I'm going to try and make 3, maybe even 4 days worth of dinners. And I also want to say thank you so much to Jo for my beautiful chopping board. Look at that. She sent it to me for my birthday. These onions are a bit strong. That's 1 meal done. That's basically like a savoury minced stew. Should we call it a deconstructed cottage pie? So I can heat that up in a few days and do some mash or some new potatoes with that, and that's really good grub, especially when it's cold. I'm going to need a ladle. I will also, when I reheat it, it will reduce down and thicken, and it will look a lot nicer than it does now. Now for a bolognese and a chilli with the rest of the mince. I always struggle with minced beef dishes. I only know like 3 or 4, 5 maybe. Any other minced beef suggestions, let me know, because minced beef is a good budget food. In Falmouth at the moment, they've got these huge cruise ships visiting nearly every day, and apparently if you're anchored in this bay, then you have to remain on your boat because you have to move out of the way of these big boats. You can definitely get everything you need. I popped out for a saucepan, frying pan, and we've come back with a roll of carpet and another project.
Yeah, okay.
You got it?
So we've actually been in Falmouth for several days now, and we've been waiting for an area of low pressure to go over. It's been swelly and rocky and lumpy and horrible, but it's lovely now, and we're going to be heading off up the south coast of England in an easterly direction tomorrow. I think this evening we're going to go up the River FAL and pick up an Anchorage, but we've been very negligent because although we've been here a few days, we haven't really filmed much for you guys, and filmed what a lovely place this is. And again, we say this everywhere we go, but the staff are just so nice. Again, it just seems to be a recurring theme with all of these places that we visit. The staff are just so lovely. I'll just give you a quick look round the marina, and then we'll have a look round Falmouth itself. What's your name?
My name is Andre.
Andre, I'm Andy.
Andy.
Yeah, nice
Andy.
to meet
Andy.
you.
Andre.
Yeah. And what's the boat?
It's a sailboat.
Well, yeah.
No, but I don't know. They told me it's a German design. That's for sure. And they told me it's from 1935.
Right. 1935.
But I don't think so, because I got some information. Maybe it's built in 1950 in Hungary.
Okay, right.
Also strange after the war, 5 years after.
Long keel.
Yeah, it's an American or not?
No, British boat, the Bowman.
Bowman.
This is our Bowman. Very similar.
I know, I can't remember the name, but a friend of mine have not the center cockpit. But,
Yeah,
same.
centre cockpit, aft cabin. But,
yeah, this is also this S-shape along here.
very similar shape to ours,
I think
But yours is steel, of course.
This steel is aluminium.
Wow.
Strange, eh? Directly on the steel here.
And just tell us quickly, where is it you've just been on your circuit? Where have you just sailed?
I sailed Algarve, Madeira, Algarve and around there in the Rockall area. And then to Madeira, Porto Santo, now Porto Santo because of COVID. So,
Right.
And then I have to rebuild my house and I do this.
Oh my goodness.
And then now Azores and now here.
And from the Azores and back to here.
Yeah.
Amazing. What an interesting guy. Sailed everywhere on this old steel boat, which he thinks was told was from 1930 something, and he thinks was from 1950 something. But right, yes, so this is Falmouth Yacht Haven, and there are several places that you can stop here. There are the pontoons here in the haven. There's loads and loads and loads of buoys out here, and there's loads of guest buoys and mooring buoys that people can pick up. Which the only reason we're on the pontoon is we wanted to have access to the power to recharge our batteries, because again, as I've said before, we've got solar, but it's the wind. It's in the UK in the northern latitudes. There is a massive amount of sun, so we just wanted to charge up and fill our tanks. So we've been on the pontoon a couple of days. But I mean, it's fantastic. And who we've got now with us is a guy called Ben, who is a very close friend of ours, who we've known for years and years and years. And his boat is over there. He's got a Camper Nicholson 35. But he's come to sail with us for a few days as we go from here up towards Portland, because we're still making our way over to Portland. So that's the plan for later. Can I see what you're drawing? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So this is somebody that's just brought a photograph and commissioned you to...
Yeah, this is somebody from Hans Cottage actually.
Right.
So I'm just doing them, yeah.
Wow.
But like I said, they're going to put all these tattoos in.
Yeah, it adds an extra layer of detail, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What's your name, mate?
Mark.
Mark. Andy. Nice to
Hi,
meet
Andy,
you.
nice to meet you.
You may have been wondering what I was doing with that big roll of carpet. I have cut it to size for the saloon, and gradually during the evenings I'm hand whipping the edge so it doesn't come untangled. which just makes it a lot nicer. It makes it much more of a nicer place for Ollie to play, and it feels more homely. Obviously, I'm not going to show you me doing the whole thing because it's going to take me lots of evenings while just sitting and chilling, but I'll show you the finished product in probably quite a few weeks' time. We're getting ready to leave Falmouth Yacht Haven. We've had an absolutely lovely time here. What do you think of Falmouth, Jack?
Very nice, lots of cool places to explore.
Yes, definitely. So we're looking forward to dropping anchor at the river tonight, and then tomorrow we're heading to Falmouth. We're just going to get some fuel. I'm going to go and get some diesel. Diesel. Nope.
We're all fueled up and we're going that away, out of this little creek here where Falmouth Marina and Falmouth Haven is, out through all the moorings and turning up the River FAL. We're out of Falmouth Yacht Haven and we're heading up the FAL, and it's disgusting. It's grey and horrible and rainy and drizzly.
Not disgusting scenery, eh?
No, it's lovely scenery. It's just horrible. This is Ben.
Hi there.
Who's come to join us, and I think you know who that is. And Jack and Ollie are below watching telly and stuff because it's just not very nice. But it is stunning round here. We're just going to try and find an anchorage up round, is it Turnaware Point? I think it's called Turnaware, yeah, Turnaware Point, which is far enough up the river that we think it should be quite nicely protected for the evening. But the track that you have to follow up the river is really weird. We've got tons of depth here, but it's this channel, again with banks either side, that are very, very steep, so you have to sort of stay quite well within the channel, I think. We saw somebody the other day that went aground. They're just obviously just easy miscalculation. I felt bad for them because it's the kind of thing I would do, but they were hard aground for a few hours until the tide came back in. It reminds me of the Menai Straits back home, because there's a port marker here that we're just coming up to, and you have to go really close to this bank, to the land here, and go round it. I'll show you that port marker there. It's just through the window there. But you have to go, you know, this close to the shore before you can go round it. Even though you've got all of this water, but no, the channel is here. Look, it's that. So it's. So it is super important to make sure that you don't mess this up, because you could be in trouble. I need to put my colour code, but can you see on there, red, yellow, green, blue is 10, 20, 30, 40 metres up the channel. Just so you're aware, red, yellow, green, blue. And apparently that's the wrong order as well. Okay. There's I did red, yellow, green, blue because from a paramedic point of view I remember ride your green by, because it's the order that we put ECG dots on people for doing a heart trace. But there's another mnemonic for the colours for your anchor chain markers.
If it's your boat, you remember it.
Exactly, yeah. Who cares?
Absolutely.
We're right in that channel now.
Yeah.
it's nice to have somebody else on the helm. Yeah, means I can have my cup of tea. So we're using, for this trip, we've got the Raymarine chart plotter, but we're using Navionics on the iPhone. And I just want to ask what you guys think of this new business with Navionics and Garmin and the restrictions on the app. It'd be interesting to hear from Garmin about that. It'd be interesting to hear your thoughts on that. So open that up in the comments section. What's actually going on with this Navionics app now that Garmin own it, and what does that mean for us shoestring sailors, as it were? You know, because this boat isn't bristling with technology. We can't afford to buy all the latest stuff, and there are, like most of us, we run Navionics on our phone, and that's how we work. So I wonder what the implications are for that now that with these new changes that Garmin are making. So yeah, over to the comments section for that.
Can you sit down and build them up? Moving up the FAL. It's sort of late afternoon, so I thought while we're under engine, I'll make some dinner, and we're going to have jambalaya, which is one of mine and Jack's favourites. I cooked some chicken off while we were still plugged into the shore power, and I made a couple of meals for the next couple of days.
So we go up here around that marker buoy, and then there's a nice little cove here where we can anchor, and it's really protected. But the important thing, as I've been saying, is not to cut the corners, because you end up in a bit of a mess. Next thing, I think we'll be dropping the anchor. Then what I've got to do is jump in the dinghy and pop back to that beach over there, because I've had some post delivered to some of our followers, Peter and Nikki, who are a wonderful couple that we've met with. They've also got a bowman, and they've taken some posts, deliveries of some posts that I need to go fetch, which is really kind of them. They've actually been really helpful to us all this week, and just want to say a huge thank you to Peter and Nikki for all the help that you've been. It's been an absolute godsend, because they've picked us up in the car, and we've been to their house for some food. It's just been really super. So anchoring for the night now. This is absolutely stunning. This tiny little bay here, Turnaware Point in the River FAL. We're just past low tide, and there's 14 meters of water here. Unbelievable. So we're gonna find a little spot that's not so close that we swing into this chappie here, Lespinet. There's also a pontoon up there that we could grab if we wanted to, but we're not gonna go on the pontoon tonight, I think. Some people fishing here. It's just still and silent and gorgeous. Love it. We're all prepped, ready to drop the anchor, and Ben is just going to find the spot that he wants to put us in, and then off we go. Oh look, there's some rowers.
Big, swing it, that's it, day, 6, that's it, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, ready, 9. Nice. Quick. Rhythm. 45 now. Legs and halfway there. Keep squeeze. Good. 50 seconds. Second. Big good. 30 straight or half a length. Squeeze now. Get ready to push the take control together. Big focus. Finish the air. Nice, relax, turn. Big squeeze. Squeeze now. What you're doing is power off the legs. Get long. Keep pushing out.
That looks so energetic. What I would prefer to do on a lovely evening like this is open a bottle of wine.
I'll put the nose over there.
Okay.
Drop, I reckon.
I reckon drop here. Start dropping here.
I think I'll just bring the bow round.
Bring the bow round. Yeah.
And then we can reverse down.
I think so.
Down the
What
coast.
depth are we in now?
7.
No, that's perfect.
But we're just off low, so
Yeah, that's perfect.
It would have dropped another metre.
Yeah, perfect. Look at that. 7 metres. That's quite deep though for a little bay like this, isn't it? Oh, this is just unbelievably gorgeous. Even in the drizzle, sort of choking me up slightly. Can't believe how gorgeous this is.
What do you reckon? I think something like here.
Yeah, I'll start going down. We're drifting back so slowly, I don't want to dump all the chain in a big pile. Yeah. So because we're drifting back so gently, I don't want to dump all the chain in a big pile. So I'm just letting the chain
Is it
drift back. No, it's going straight down, but then
Okay.
but then
We're in reverse, so it'll
yeah, there we go. I'm just watching the chain come up like this and then letting some more out. Oh, we've got 40 metres of chain now.
Is that 30, you reckon?
That's 40 now. I missed 30. So because I was looking at the camera, I missed 30 metres and we've gone to 40 metres, but that's absolutely fine. I'm going to stick the bridle on, which, you know, just an anchor snubber, and then just settle down for the evening. You don't really need a snubber like this, but it's just kinder to the gypsy, I think.
That's it. Takes the pressure off the window.
There you go. That's it, we're just on the snubber now.
Yeah.
So now I've got, as you've seen before, I've got the bridle set up. I've only got it going over the roller, and it's hooked onto the chain with the anchor hook, but there's no tension in the chain. So that's taking all the strain off the gypsy on the anchor windlass. And like I said, that's just showing you how I do it. Please tell me if I'm doing it wrong. I realise, incidentally, normally you'd have your anchor chain hook much further down, but this is, look at it, there's not a breath of wind and we're a very secluded bay. It's fine. But yeah, tell me if I'm doing anything wrong. I'm sure I am. And that wasn't a tutorial, that's just me saying how I do it, because there are really good anchoring tutorials on the internet, and this isn't one.
here's Peter on the beach with my mail. Amazing. So we might see you over winter, but we'll see.
Yeah, we could pretty much hear you leave Low Beach.
Really? The only thing I don't like about that 5-horse, which is amazing, it's a fantastically reliable engine, is you do sound like a teenager on a moped.
Yeah.